You'll spend about 218 minutes procrastinating today. Yep, I just watched you do it for the last 30 seconds while deciding whether to click on this video. You know that feeling when you sit down to get stuff done, but your brain suddenly turns into a TV remote, flipping through a million channels? Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, snacks, daydreams, anything but the thing you're supposed to do. Yeah, I get it. I've been there too. So how do you actually get things done when you don't feel like it? And here's the kicker, that procrastination is costing you way more than just your to-do list. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll realize you've been asking the wrong question your whole life. The right question, it changes everything. Most people think procrastination means laziness. But here's the truth, you're not lazy, you're scared. Scared of starting, scared of failing, scared of not feeling ready. And your brain, it's been lying to you about what feeling like it actually means. Let's get real. Motivation isn't some magical spark that appears out of nowhere. First, here's a little secret. Waiting to feel like doing something is like waiting for a unicorn to show up and do your homework. Spoiler alert, it's not gonna happen. Motivation is sneaky. It's like that friend who says, "I'll come to your party," but never shows up. You can't wait for motivation to get things done. You have to start before it shows up. Think back to when you were a kid. Did you wait to feel like brushing your teeth? Nope. You just did it because you had to. Same with tying your shoes or eating your veggies. You didn't wait for motivation, you just went for it. Now here's where it gets interesting. Your brain is like a sneaky little lawyer. It's always arguing against you doing the thing. You're too tired. You need a break. You'll do better later. Sound familiar? That's your brain trying to keep you comfy. Comfort is the enemy of getting things done. So how do you win against this brain lawyer? You make a deal. Tell it, okay, we'll do this for just 5 minutes. 5 minutes is so short your brain can't argue with it. And here's the magic. Most of the time, once you start, you'll keep going. But if you don't, no worries, you did 5 minutes more than you planned. Let me give you some examples of how tiny starts work. Writing. Don't say I'll write a chapter. Say I'll write one sentence. Cleaning. Don't say I'll clean the whole room. Say I'll pick up one sock. Exercise. Don't say I'll do a full workout. Say I'll do one push-up. Your brain can't object to one sentence, one sock, or one push-up. It's like sneaking past the gatekeeper. Try this. Set a timer for 5 minutes and pick one tiny task you've been avoiding. Let me tell you about my friend Jake. For months, his room was a disaster zone. Clothes everywhere, dishes piled up, papers scattered. Every day he said, "I'll clean tomorrow," but tomorrow never came. One day Jake decided to just pick up one sock. That was it. Then he felt a little better, so he picked up another sock, then a shirt. Then he started folding clothes. Before he knew it, his whole room was clean. But here's the thing, Jake didn't just clean his room, he cleaned his mind. That small action gave him a sense of control and accomplishment. It broke the cycle of overwhelm and procrastination. Contrast that with his roommate, who kept waiting for motivation and never cleaned. His room got worse, and so did his mood. Why we procrastinate? Here's what's really going on in your brain when you procrastinate. Your brain is wired to avoid pain and seek pleasure. Starting a hard task feels like pain, uncertainty, fear of failure, discomfort. So your brain tries to distract you with easy, pleasurable things. Scrolling social media, snacking, daydream. But here's the twist. Action actually creates motivation, not the other way around. When you start doing something, your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical. That's why starting small works. It tricks your brain into rewarding you for action. Common objection, but I'm too tired. Even when tired, 5 minutes of action can boost energy. Movement wakes up your brain. Common objection, I don't know where to start. Start with the smallest possible step. Open the book, write one word, send one email. You right now are probably thinking, this sounds good, but I'm still stuck. That's okay. Let me ask you, what's the one thing you've been avoiding because you don't feel ready? Write it down or say it out loud. Keep it in mind as we move forward. Sarah was a marketing executive with a side business idea she'd been putting off for 3 years. Every morning, same routine, coffee, Instagram. I'll work on it when I feel inspired. One day I asked her, what if you never feel like it? What if motivation is just procrastination in a fancy outfit? She got quiet, real quiet. Then she said something that cracked everything open. I've been waiting to feel like the person who deserves success before I do the work to become her. The next day she felt terrible. Did it again, still felt terrible. But something shifted. Not her feelings, her identity. Within 6 months, she'd built a 6-figure business. Not because she felt motivated, but because she stopped negotiating with her feelings. Now let me introduce you to Mike. Mike had a dream, a project he was passionate about, something that could change his life. But Mike was stuck in what I call the waiting trap. He kept telling himself, I'll start when the timing is perfect, or I need to feel ready for. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. Mike watched from the sidelines as friends and colleagues launched their projects, built businesses, and moved forward. He felt frustrated, stuck, and honestly a little jealous. But every time he thought about starting, that little voice whispered, not yet, wait for the right moment. Here's the harsh truth, that right moment rarely comes. Waiting for motivation or perfect conditions is the biggest excuse for inaction. It's a trap that keeps you frozen, watching life pass you by. Mike's story isn't unique. It's the story of millions who let fear and hesitation steal their potential. And the cost? Years lost, opportunities missed, and dreams left unfulfilled. But here's the thing, Mike's story could have been different. If he'd started with just one small step, even on a bad day, he'd be miles ahead now. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for a green light on a road that's always red. You have to start moving to change the light. Alright, now that we've seen how waiting can hold you back, let's talk about a powerful way to hack your brain and make starting automatic. It's called action triggers. Simple environmental cues that nudge you into action without you even thinking about it. Think about it like this. Your brain loves shortcuts. If you can create a trigger, a signal in your environment that tells your brain, hey, it's time to do this, you bypass all the mental arguing and excuses. Here are some examples you can try right now. DACA, workout clothes by your bed. Lay out your exercise clothes the night before. When you wake up and see them, your brain gets the message, workout time. No thinking required. Journal on your desk. Place your journal or notebook right where you work or relax. When you see it, it reminds you to write or reflect. Phone alarm labeled Start Now. Set an alarm or reminder on your phone with a clear, motivating label. When it goes off, it's your cue to begin the task you've been avoiding. These triggers work because they turn starting into a habit, a simple, automatic response. Instead of debating whether to start, your brain just follows the cue. Try this. Pick one task you want to start today. Now think about what visual or physical cue you can create to remind you to start. Set it up before you finish watching this video. Now let's get real for a moment. Even with all these tricks, setbacks will happen. You'll miss a day, feel unmotivated, or get distracted. That's normal. Life throws curveballs, and your brain loves to sneak back into old habits. The key isn't perfection, it's how you respond to setbacks. Here's the golden rule. Don't let one slip turn into a slide. If you miss a day or lose momentum, don't beat yourself up. Instead, get back on track immediately. Use the 5-minute rule again. Tell yourself, I'll just do 5 minutes. That tiny commitment is enough to break the cycle of procrastination and rebuild momentum. Consistency beats intensity every time. It's better to do a little bit every day than to burn out with a huge effort and then quit. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't skip brushing for a week because you missed one day, right? You just pick it up the next morning. Treat your goals the same way. Here's where the real magic happens. The identity shift. It's not just about what you do, it's about who you become. Imagine your future self, the person who shows up every day, does the work and builds momentum. That future self isn't perfect or always motivated. They just don't negotiate with feelings. They don't wait for motivation or the right moment. They act because that's who they are. This identity shift rewires your brain. When you start seeing yourself as someone who gets things done, your actions start aligning with that belief. You stop making excuses because it doesn't fit your new identity. And here's the best part. Over time, these small actions compound. What feels impossible today becomes effortless tomorrow. The habits you build now create the foundation for your future success. This isn't some vague motivational fluff. It's science. Your brain literally changes when you act like the person you want to be. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Picture yourself 6 months from now, having built the habit of starting regardless of feeling. What does your life look like? How do you feel? What have you accomplished? See yourself waking up, tackling your tasks with confidence, and moving steadily toward your goals. Notice the pride and satisfaction you feel. Hold that image. That future self is waiting for you to start. And the first step is right now. Remember when I said you'll procrastinate for 2? Well, here's the secret I didn't tell you. Those 218 minutes aren't just random time wasters. Nope, they're a choice. A choice to prioritize how you feel over who you want to become. And honestly, your future self is probably rolling their eyes at you right now. But now you know the truth. Motivation isn't some superhero swooping in to save the day. You don't need to feel like it. You just need to do it. So here's your challenge. Pick one thing you've been waiting to feel like doing. Do it now, for 5 minutes. That's less time than it takes to binge watch a couple of cat videos, and way more productive. Go on, prove to yourself that feelings follow action, not the other way around. And hey, if this video hit you like a truck in a good way, drop a comment with the one thing you're finally gonna stop negotiating with. Because the version of you that actually gets things done, yeah, they're already waiting. Probably with a coffee and a smug smile. Alright, now go do that thing. Seriously. I'll wait, just kidding. I'm not actually waiting. Go. If this helped, hit like, share with a friend who needs a little kick in the pants, and don't forget to subscribe for more simple tips to crush your day. You've got this. Now go make your future self proud.